let's jump right in. We're going to start with cloud, and Dominic, we're going to start with you. Talk about your experiences transitioning print management solutions to cloud. What were some of the challenges that you guys are seeing? You support a lot of dealers. You guys are you and well, both you and ACDI are really you exist to support dealers. So from that perspective, let's talk about transitioning that to the cloud. How did that go, or how is it going?
Yeah, I think print management solutions and transitioning to the cloud. I think the transitioning and challenges run parallel, and the root of having a successful transition really, revolves around understanding your customer specific requirements and understanding what cloud means to them. Because every day we deal with different scenarios, and everybody understands what cloud is differently, or may think cloud or what they want to be done in the cloud is different than what it is actually what they're asking for. So what I mean by this is, depending upon their needs, and we may recommend a private cloud, public cloud, or perhaps a hybrid solution. So to recap it real quick is, one of the key elements is understanding the organizational goals, what the shift is to the cloud means to them, whether it's corporate mandates, whether it's regulatory compliance, understanding, what their existing user and print administration needs are, understanding their current infrastructure, whether or not they want BYOD, managed devices, understanding, their desired print workflow, whether they currently using secure print, whether or not they want to use direct print, whether they want to migrate into secure print or not, or find me printing, or just, it's basically the challenges coupled with identifying the need and the solution up front. If you're able to successfully identify what cloud means to the customer, what their ask is, then the challenges are greatly reduced.
So that does make a lot of sense, right? I mean, cloud is just, it's ubiquitous word now. It's everywhere, and so customers are asking for it, and without actually knowing why they're asking for it, what it means to them, and what advantages. So we have seen a lot of on-prem and kind of making another push, and maybe the hybrid approach. A lot of customers are starting to look at that and pull back a little bit from the cloud. It does seem there's a lot of opportunity there, but customers are starting to reevaluate. So great answer right there, Dominic. Thank you for that. Mark, let's move on to you and talk about advantages when you're in print management. What now versus where we were a couple of years ago, maybe 5 years ago, when everything was on-prem. Now that we're really moving into the cloud, everybody's got a cloud solution. What do you think the advantages are for the customers, for the dealers? Where do you see things?
I'm going to go back and look at it from a dealer perspective, Andy, and the OEMs, because ultimately it's a way to enable them to sell in new ways. What Dominic and the rest of us are saying is, when you go talk to a customer, buzzwords cloud, where are we going? What do we need? Cloud, this, that. There's a lot of different aspects of cloud. Most of us are using it on our iPhones and storing photos and things like that, right? But the dealers have to really get down and talk to their customers to find out what they need. And what I love the most about the approach that we've been taking is enabling our sales rep, or the dealers at sales reps, to be able to say yes. When you go into a customer and you have to have that consultative approach, ask them what they need. Is moving printing to a public cloud really the best thing for them? Is it that mission critical? How well is their internet capabilities? Is there downtime, uptime? So you have to kind of get back to asking the customer where they are and finding out which approach they need to take. So that gives the dealer that ability to go into that customer and be stickier. Right? To be able to say, I have a solution for you. Do you want it on-prem? We have you. Do you want it in a private cloud, hybrid cloud, to where maybe your headquarters is on-prem, but your satellite offices are using a public cloud type of environment, whatever that may be? Or maybe you're a small business, you don't want to manage anything on your environment. Let's just put it out in a public cloud and let's go. There's not an answer that's, the silver bullet. It's one size fits all. It's that hybrid approach. And that's what I love about, the approach of print management in the cloud. I got a really good friend of mine. He might be on this call. He said, when we look at the cloud, the sky's the limit, right? Let's talk about where we want to go with cloud. And that's it, right? You want to enable the dealers and their reps to be able to go out and go to a customer, and they ask all these questions, and the answer is yes, I can help you.
Well, it certainly facilitates conversations and gives salespeople a good reason to be in there, and honestly justifies their existence in the account. This is why, they're not just customers aren't just buying this stuff online and try to plug it in themselves. They do need help. They do need some consulting. Martin, let's look at the future. Where do you see cloud technologies going in print management down the road?
Yeah, I think I believe that we really need to look at the cloud from a bigger picture. This is really important. I would probably compare the initiative to go to the cloud like to transfer from the standard vehicle to EV, because it looks the same, but it's totally different. And if you use the new technology in the old way, then you will not reach its whole potential. So that's why when we look at the context, especially of a new way of using it, we will find that let's say original on-prem print management solution has served us very well for the needs of the one specific organization and very often in a one specific location. But the cloud brings us the freedom in terms of who can use it and where they can use it. And it's really, really important, because this is this is basically the fundamental change that can significantly increase our total savings, and also it can heavily and positively impact our productivity. So if the new technology is used with its whole potential, we can reach or we can receive much more benefits than from the solutions before. But important thing is how we will use it.
So foot on the pedal, you're still moving forward, and we're adding capability to cloud. We're adding more software, more services really, and this is really the future, right? So moving back to the dealers, Robbie, you just came from working, as you said, from one of the manufacturers, and you were dealing with the dealers from the hardware side. Now that you're on this side of it, let's hear from you on what do you think as far as the value proposition for dealers and resellers going out there? What does this type of software, this cloud-based software from PaperCut, from MyQ, what do you think that adds to the dealer sales pitch?
The value prop behind that. I look at that question. I think about previous evolutions of our industry. Meter collection. Used to have SneakerNet, as I called it. You walk around and gather all your meters, or have customers call them in. Then we moved into remote monitoring, remote meter collection. We see continued diversification with our partners, cloud phone systems, cloud security systems. So this whole concept of print management in the cloud, I think, is one of the next evolutions where we're not so much even going to have to propose this to our customers. Our customers are going to demand this of us because they're educated, they're smart, they know what's available in the marketplace. So for our partners, for our dealers, for our resellers, I think they have to be prepared to answer that call sooner than later of the customers just simply saying, you have to have this in your portfolio or I'm not going to do business with you.